From coast to coast, I'm your host, Palma, and she loves it. And welcome to Oriac Live. I am so excited for today's show because I have watched these two for many years. I admire them, and I cannot wait for today's show for you guys to see what these two have up their sleeves. Welcome the Oriac artistic team, Marlo Steenman and Tony Ricci. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. How are you both?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. My heart is going like this because it's like, oh my gosh. I have gone to many Contessas and seen you both over the years and looked up to both of you. I
Thank
feel so
you.
honored to have this moment to speak with you both. And I hear there are some holiday styles you guys have been working on. I mean, the holidays are just around the corner now, so I want to know all about it. Give me all the juicy details that you two have because this girl right here wants to know.
Well, you know what's really crazy is I've been looking a lot on like what's out there for styles, and it's kind of everything goes, but glamour is back. People, I think, just want glam. They want they want beautiful hair, but they want something that's simple, easy to do, but really dressy. And I think that Tony and I accomplished that.
Yeah, we did. We're seeing a lot of it. And what I'm seeing more of because of social media and Instagram and TikTok and all these is creativity. I think a lot of people want to see individual hairdos, so they don't want to look like their next door neighbor, especially on the styling side, because it's something that they can wash out. You can put it on, and you can take it out the next day and you're back. And nobody really wants to get their hair cut or color changed, but styling is a great way for us to now learn how to change things to really push the boundaries of creativity and make people look very glamorous or very artistic or very creative and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You know what? We've been cooped up for too long.
Yeah.
And now we want to come out. The bigger the hair, the better. More creativity, right? Like,
The
I mean,
volume.
I took mine off. I grew it out during COVID. And then I was like, came back and I said, what the hell was I thinking? Let's go back to my pixie. But you know what? I've had fun putting these like little hair clips in there. And just being
Exactly.
creative because it's like, you know what? I want to be seen now, people, not just on the TikTok, but while I'm going out for a wonderful dinner with friends or family. And you know what? Who's better than you two to really show us off what is in the latest trends? You guys are looking online, but you two are the ones who create these looks and give us, the other hairdressers, the ideas and bring them out right here behind our chairs.
Paul, I just
So,
want to say one thing. I want to be interviewed by you all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
you guys are awesome. Listen, I just want to know all your tricks because I honestly, over the years, watching both of you, and I think, how did they create that look? And, a lot of hairdressers don't want to share their secrets.
I agree. Yeah.
I cannot copy exactly what you do. You cannot copy exactly what I do. But if you have a little trick, maybe I could take what you've done and make it my own and say, hey, you know what? I got this look from Marlo and actually respect my peers. So I think that's what I would love to know. And I know our audience would love to know too. So
I would say honestly, one of the first things about getting a really beautiful look, I mean, whether you're wearing it up or down, is starting like really understand the product you're working with and the capabilities of what that product can do. Because I think sometimes we don't push even our products enough. So I know with the look that I did, I was able to push the product, but I'm still a very firm believer in a good blow dry. A good foundation when you're going to do, for example, what I did with my first model, it was really about a good finish, a good blow dry, and to be able to have the hair go in the direction that I want it to go in, and knowing how you're going to set your styles. If you're going to do an up style, why are we curling down? We should be curling up because of the direction the hair is going. So I think it's understanding your product and have a plan. I know when I first started hairdressing and I was doing up styles, I would just do them and not really know why. You're just putting like 85,000 pins. You're like, hey, it's holding. We're good.
yeah.
But understanding why you're doing it, the map.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're explaining, don't forget about your product.
Yeah.
Yes, our hands are just as important into creating something, but that product can actually make you or break you in your
Mhm.
style, correct?
Oh
Like if you put
yeah.
too much of something or too little of something, you could be really hurting your look overall in general. I would love for you, Marlo, to explain your first look that you were starting to mention, because here on Oriac Live, not only are we here in front of people to watch us, but we're also on a podcast. So I hope you can give us a little bit of detail further to then what people
Yeah.
would see in the photo. You don't
So I
mind?
think the first thing with my model is, obviously using the proper products. I went in and I used a thermal spray and a volumizing spray because I still wanted to have a little bit of volume, but where I can maximize those products and really make those products work to my benefit was a really good blow dry. And that blow dry, I did a flat wrap. And a flat wrap is not blow drying the hair in one specific direction, but it's going, left to right and then right to left, front to back, back to front, so that the hair is really kind of open to do what I need it to do. And then I used a large barrel curling iron and I curled everything in one direction. So, in a lot of times we're curling back or we're curling one way and then the other way. I'm curling everything with a large barrel curling iron in one direction, allowing the hair time to cool down. And then when I took the set out, and here's a lot of things that hairdressers are scared to do: brush it, grab a nice brush like a Mason Pearson brush, and start working that hair. Work it until it starts to fall in the direction you want it to go. So that's very important. And I'm huge, huge, huge. When you spray hair, spray it in the direction you want the hair to go. If you want the hair to go this way, don't spray it this way. You're just working against something. I'm spraying it in the direction I want to see that hair go and creating those shapes with my can, my hairspray can, to create those shapes in order to have that hair sit very structured, very glamorous.
Marlo, I'd love to know about the products you're using. Tell me about the hairspray that you use for this look.
So one of my most favorite hairsprays by Artego is Hot Shot. And the reason why I love Hot Shot so much, because A, it's a dry spray, so the hair doesn't get wet and heavy, but it's a very workable spray. So it's not going to stop birds in flight. We have another hairspray for that, but this one will allow me to continue to work and create the shapes that I need. And then it's very moldable, very workable. So that's my thing. Love it.
I love that. No birds of flight over here.
Nope. Nope. We have something for that, but not when you're working with your
I
skin.
love that. And that spray you can layer on top if
Yes.
you're feeling okay. I love that.
And it doesn't dull the hair out.
Yeah.
You know how some hairspray makes that color or that hair look dull?
They'll keep them looking perfect all
Yes.
night. What was the name of that product again?
It's Hot Shot.
I mean, hello.
Hot Shot. That's why it's my
It's saying
favorite.
that.
She uses it.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a couple of bottles over here. So, Tony, I'd love to hear about your first look that you created. And I hear something about a strong bond. I know we got a pretty good bond going on, but I'd love to hear about your look.
We do. I love our bond, by the way.
Tell me about your look. Tell me about the first look you created.
Well, the first look I created, first I want to say when Marlo and I worked together, and we've been working together for about a year and a half, and it's like we've been working together for 20 years. We really connect a lot. In whatever direction she goes, I might go in the other direction, but we always seem to come back to a team sort of effort. And she did some very glamorous looks, and I wanted to take the looks, but I always like to feel that you should put a twist to it, because I think that I like to put a sort of my brand on things so people know that that's your brand. So just pushing the boundaries a little bit. So I added some jewels to the ponytail. So it's a very simple ponytail, which I use thermal shimmer first, and I blow dried that right in there. So when I use the flat iron, there's a lot of little sort of shimmers in there. So you have to shake it very well. But when you flat iron it, it really gives it a really super shine. And I think that when someone walks into the room, and when you see two ponytails, but if you see a ponytail that's super sleek and super shiny and it's done very well, because sometimes doing a proper ponytail is very difficult.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have the sag in the back, all that. But when you see something come in and it's super sleek and super shiny, it just looks way more expensive in my eyes.
That's elegant.
So all I did was in the back around the occipital bone is I put a braid, just a 3-strand braid, and that will anchor those jewels. And those jewels are just, I just cut them to the length that I want them to, and then I used an earring sort of hook, and they just hook on there so they stay. And then I wrapped it, and that's where I used the strong bond to just take the hair and wrap it around the ponytail. But using the strong bond, you don't have to use a hairpin. And that's really important to me because sometimes those pop out because you're trying to finish this little ponytail, but you got this bobby pin. So having a strong, like a hairspray like that, and what you do is just, you put a lot of it on there and you just keep wrapping it and using your fingers to really make it smooth. It almost looks like a piece of leather when it's finished. And I just think it's just spectacular when it's done. So
I love that, Tony. You definitely know how to level up a look. That's for sure. Like your signature, right? We know that that's a Tony Ricci look.
We have to do that. And even the contest does it. You can see when someone just finishes it just that extra little bit. I think the judges really notice that too. And I think it works just on streetwear too, is just that you're putting that little bit of extra touch to that, making that little extra finish. Like Marlo was saying, using that product properly, layering products. And when you finish, you can tell the difference. And so can the judges.
Yes, I love that extra little touch at the end because I always call that your signature.
Yeah,
correct.
You're an artist. You should sign your canvas. And that's
Yes.
a great way of describing it, isn't it?
And Tony has more jewels than I've ever. He opens up his suitcase and I'm like, whoa.
You know, I love it. I'm not alone then because I have a whole room in my basement just dedicated to my hair art. So hairdressers out there, you are not alone. Even Tony Ricci has a room or a luggage somewhere full of these
lots of jewels.
Well,
Right?
I want to add one thing, Palma, because I was telling Andrew, and every time I did it, I'm old school. So we didn't have Instagram and social media to get clients. So we had to finish the hair perfectly. So they would go out there, and that would be our business card. And that's how we got clients. So I really, really put emphasis on having that finish and making sure that when they walk out the door, they do have your signature or your brand on there. That's
Absolutely.
how we used to get clients back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. And you know what? I think it's still like that. We are so fortunate in this day and age where technology, which we are so grateful for in this very moment, to also be, on a podcast, which plugging in oriac.ca/live. Join us for every episode right here. But back to my point is that, yes, sure, we're on podcasts, we're on Instagram, we're on all these different social media platforms. But the truth is, these people still need to walk out, go to the mall, go grocery shopping, go on a date, do whatever it is that they're doing in life and still have great.
They need to talk about you.
Yeah.
They need to talk about
Be
you.
excited.
You need your clients to talk about you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, it was so cool. Tony used this hairspray to hold my hair.
Yeah.
And just that little bit, they'll tell their friends, right? And you charge them a little more for that too, by the way.
Don't forget to give them a little wink while you're at it, okay?
An extra 20
Yeah,
bucks.
that's the whole point. You're absolutely right, We're talking about leveling up, but let's really talk about even what got us to this point. If we're going to level up that ponytail, let's remember how you had to make that ponytail perfect how many years ago when nobody was really watching you do it.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. I have a question though. This is a big one, and I maybe think some hairdressers out there are thinking it, but they'll never ask it. Whenever I'm doing a ponytail and I start to put product on the hair, my hand gets a little sticky with the product, and then the hair starts sticking up and it's not sitting where I need it to be. I try to get my tail comb to kind of hold it back, but then now the product is not only just sticking to my hand, but also sticking to the edge of the tail comb. Guys, is there a secret to getting all this hair down and not letting it stick to my hand? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you're about
I do. I like to use an assistant. Personally, because or any assistant. But if you don't have an assistant, there's these elastics with hooks on it.
Yes.
And what I do is that I use that. So what I do is I do the ponytail, then I take the elastic and I hook it there. Then I sort of work all that. So I'm not touching it with my hands.
Right.
And then I take, look at that, I got it on me.
Oh,
so then I take like an elastic, and it comes elastic on a roll. So it's a big roll, and I cut it. And what this does, the hook is holding that, and then I take this and I go underneath the hook, then I tie it and go underneath the hook and I tie it, and you have to tie it twice, otherwise it slips off. And then you just cut this off and then you finish it. But the elastic with the hooks, the two of them, a lot of people think that that is your finished result. That's actually there just to hold your hair while you're working.
It's your assistant.
So it's actually your assistant.
Yeah.
Well, and this is why they call you guys the artistic team. You had the answer. You know, I
know.
Right there with the elastic. I love it. Marlo, I'd love to hear about your second look that you created.
So with my second look, I thought, you know what? Working with Tony is huge on ponytails. He does love them. You always see with one of our, like any photo shoot we do, we always have one ponytail. So he was doing his, and his was very sleek. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do something with mine. Now, she didn't have a lot of hair, so I wanted to give her a feeling that she had more hair. So I took the same set, and because I was working with a very, very brushable product, the hairspray, the Hot Shot, I was able to brush it out, create my ponytail in the same way that Tony was talking about. So it's the same sort of idea with the elastic, and I think you actually helped me with that too, just hold the hair. Because I'm like, Tony, I need you. And it's so nice to work with somebody. And then what I did is I did a zigzag section all the way across because I didn't want to see any lines, but I needed to create two ponytails to create a lot of volume for her. So I took my first ponytail from the top of the head and anchored that in. And then two sections at the bottom I subdivided and brought them all the way up and put it on top of the ponytail so that we had more of a fuller look for her. Again, she didn't have a lot of hair, so I wanted to give her, I guess for a lack of a better example, like a Barbie doll ponytail, something that was really full and pretty for her. And just sort of played off on that sleekness that I had. And with the front, I just literally took a flat iron and added just a soft bend. This is something that is a young look too. I love this look, but really anybody could, you've got the hair for it, or if you don't, nowadays you can get pieces to do that. I mean, what a great time to be a hairstylist. Like, you want short hair? I'll put a wig on you. You want long hair? We'll put
like, want bangs?
I know. Like, this is the best time in the world to be a hairstylist. Like, how many times did we want that in the late 80s, early 90s? No commitment there.
And I love it that nobody is shy to talk about it anymore.
No.
Right? It was so like, oh, you know what? You have extensions? Now it's like, if you don't have extensions, like, what's wrong with you, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I have very long hair, and if I smooth it out, it's still long, but I have a ponytail extension.
Right, of course. Again, to create, right.
I want it like down here, right? Like
crazy.
I just want to be a part of everybody.
I would say no. She said, put my ponytail. I said no.
I have a hair extension ponytail.
But there's something to be said about having this luscious ponytail.
Yeah.
That is the most beautiful look, really. And as you mentioned, with every photo shoot you guys create, there's always one look with a ponytail. It is the most classic, elegant look, in my opinion. When somebody is stuck and doesn't know what to do with their hair, I think the greatest thing to do is throw it into a ponytail. And if you're so lucky to have your extension to your ponytail, you could add, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fabulous.
You know what? And so for her, what we did, just to give it a little bit more fullness, is I went in and I did just a really light back brush. Not a back combing, so we're not back combing like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just a soft, fluffy back brushing. And just smooth the hair over top of it, just to create really a sculpture that was just sitting in the back. She loved it. She couldn't wait to see it. She's like, oh my God, I can't wait. And she just absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, the look is fantastic. I can see the fullness in her hair, and I love these pieces in the front. What product are you using when you're flat ironing this look? Because it looks like it's hair extensions. It's so smooth, but that is her hair, correct?
You know what? Yes, that's all her hair. So what I had mentioned, I use the thermal protector. But one of my and I'll tell you, I was such a hard sell on any Shine products. Hard sell. I've always been kind of iffy about it. But the Shine Bright from Artego, honest to God, if you never try anything from us, try that one. The Shine Bright is absolutely amazing because it's a dry shine. It doesn't break the product, the existing product down, and it doesn't make the hair look synthetic-y or oily or greasy, but it really gives a gorgeous shine. I mean, that's what made her hair and her ponytail look so sculptured too, so finished. You know, it was just, I'm telling you, this Shine Bright is the bomb.com. You know how much I love it.
Yeah, it is.
I love it so much.
It is a great product, and you can use a ton of it.
Yes.
And it doesn't look greasy.
No.
It doesn't feel greasy, so it's great.
You
And
can
it's great for those
everything
little.
that
You'll see
you
in
were
the video, I use a lot of it
Yeah.
on the end of the ponytail, and it
Nice.
just doesn't. Yeah.
You can actually see exactly what you are describing for people who are not watching us live. From the photos, you can see how the hair doesn't look, like you said, synthetic. I think for
Yeah.
hairdressers, that word really rings a bell, where it looks that really ultra Barbie shine.
Yeah.
You can see that it looks so sleek that I had to ask you, what did you use to then, after you sprayed that on and then you flat ironed? Did you use it before you flat ironed?
So
or
I use the Shine Bright after, just like
Okay.
a beautiful finish, and then just to work it through. You know, the Shine Bright is also excellent for, you know, the glass hair. You know, glass
Yes.
hair, people want that glass hair. It's perfect for that. You know, you do your flat iron with your thermal protector. Always, guys, thermal protector, no matter what. We've seen the tests, thermal protector. But after you're done with your flat iron, you do a beautiful flat iron, you're going to use your, you know, I shine bright like a diamond, right? And that just takes your hair and your color to the next level. And it's about what Tony is saying, you know, it's those little touches, knowing how to control or knowing what your product does that changes everything. It makes my glass hair look different than your glass hair, than,
Right.
you know, your ponytail. But you know, knowing how to control the product is part of your signature. It's part of going, I know how to do this, I know what this is going to do, and I'm not scared to spray, you know.
I want to
Yeah.
add to that. A lot of times, a lot of people will like or dislike a product, but they're trying to get the product to do something that it
It's
was
not
not
designed.
meant to do.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you know, a lot of people say, oh, the color turned the hair green. Well, no, the color didn't turn the hair green.
You kind of did.
So I always say is like if you got to learn to use the product correctly. So if you get it to do what it's supposed to do, most products will work for you, right? But if you try to get something to do something that it's not designed to do, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
important.
Tony, I love that. On that note, I want to know about your final look that you created. I hear there's some glitter.
Perfect.
Some
Yeah,
bling.
yeah. When you open up my suitcase,
I
glitter
tell you,
falls out.
you have to
It's like
You can always tell where Tony's been. It's like it's a fairy or it's Tony.
once
Something
you
is
use
happening.
glitter, you'll never get rid of it. It'll stay in that suitcase. Even if you get rid of it, it's still in the suitcase. I don't know. It kind of multiplies. It has little babies.
All right, everyone, you heard it here live on Oriac.
Yeah.
If you see glitter around any hair show, you know Tony Ricci
Yes,
Exactly.
has
100%.
been there.
I'm close by.
I love it. So tell me about this final
So
look.
the second look is still a ponytail. So what we did with this ponytail, and just to add a little bit, and I always like to take things and just push them. We used a hairpin and we put it right in the base of the sort of right where the elastic is. So that holds it there. And you have to use quite a large pin. So it's a hairpin. And then you take two pieces about 2 inches from each side of the hair and you leave those out. And what you do is you take one side and you go across and you hook it onto the other side of the hairpin. Then you take this one and you go across this way. So you're creating an X. Then you take the next one, you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you run out of hair. I usually like to do 5 or 7 sections, never an even, always an odd. Then when that comes to the bottom, you take an elastic and you hook that underneath your ponytail. And when you got that tight, you just take the hairpin out and it's like magic. You'll see this pleat. When you see it on a video, it's amazing. And it's so cool to do as a class, and it's also cool to do for your client. And that's basically a finished look. Then what we did is just took right in the base of the ponytail is we used glitter with our rock me. Is it the rock me
Yeah,
gel?
the rock me gel. Yeah.
And we
yeah,
just
yeah.
added a little glitter to the rock me gel with a tint brush. We just applied it to the base, and we used tape to just sort of tape it where we want it to go. So you don't want that to extend too far down. So the tape sort of separates where you want it to be, and it gives you a really clean line. And there we added some jewels after. So you can see that. And it's just something that if you wanted someone to just give your look just that little bit of extra, pizzazz, and you wanted people to know your signature look, you would do that. And you give them a business card.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now you don't
Or
do
a
business
QR.
cards. Tag me.
Right.
Yeah.
Hashtags, ads, all of that.
Yeah. So,
Scan this.
so it's cool. So it was pretty. Actually, Aesthetica magazine just posted one of our looks this morning. So it's pretty cool. I'm trying to figure out how to repost it. So I'm going to repost it on mine and Oriac
the generation, the generation gap.
So when you do cool things, other people pick it up, and that's how in the social media world, where I'm not very good at, but that's how you get your stuff around.
You know what, Tony? If it wasn't for people like us, social media wouldn't be where it is. So let's not knock ourselves for being challenged, because you know what? We created the foundation. All right.
That's right. I'm with you. Yes. Yes.
Yes, all the way. Guys, thank you so much for sharing these looks. I want to know, are any of these looks your favorite for the holidays? Or is there something else that you have up your sleeve that you love to do for people during the holiday season?
I would say my first look is always my favorite, just because I wear my hair up, but I like my hair down. It's my signature. My hair is my signature. So I think to wear it down, I've got a lot of clients who just want to enjoy their length and all their hair in its glory. So I would say the first one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm like a one-hit wonder. Once I do something, I can never duplicate it again. So it's like that was done, and somebody goes, "Oh, I want it done." Well, I have no idea how I did it. So yeah, I'm the one-hit wonder kind of guy.
I love it. We got Tony with the glitter and the one-hit wonder right here on Oriac Live. Well, both of you, I cannot thank you enough for joining me right here on Oriac Live. And to the audience who's tuned in to watch us right here, don't forget, we're at oriac.ca/live and listen to this wonderful podcast. I hope you found all the nitty-gritty secrets that Tony Ricci and Marlo Steenman had to share with us. Thank you guys once again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.